There's a narrow road in the Upper Peninsula tucked deep into the Ottawa National Forest. No streetlights. No houses, just dense pine and quiet swamps. But if you drive out there, past the tiny town of Paulding, and park at the dead end of Robbins Pond Road, you might see it. A light, just a single glowing orb that hovers above the trees, maybe sways side to side. Sometimes it's white. Other times red, occasionally green. It flickers, moves, disappears, and then it comes back. Locals call it the Paulding Light, and they've been watching it for over 50 years. You're listening to End of the Road in Michigan. True stories from forgotten places, strange moments in time, and the back roads that hold them all together. And today, we're headed deep into the Upper Peninsula, where a quiet, two-track road leads not just into the woods, but into one of Michigan's longest-running mysteries. The first widely recorded sighting came in 1966, when a group of teenagers reported a strange light in the forest to the local sheriff. They told the local sheriff, who came out to investigate. He found nothing. No headlights, no campfires, no vehicles. Just a glowing light in the distance, hanging motionless above the tree line. They thought it was a UFO. But when deputies investigated, they found nothing. No vehicle, no campfire, no people, just silence. But the light kept showing up, and people kept coming. There's a narrow road near Paulding, Michigan. You won't find it marked on tourist maps. It's not a scenic overlook or a hiking trail. It's just a gravel road, Robbins Pond Road, to be exact, that dead ends at a small parking lot in the middle of the Ottawa National Forest. There are no signs of civilization here, just trees, silence, and one very unusual sight. A single light that appears in the distance, hovering just above the horizon. It flickers, sometimes sways, changes color, disappears, then, just when you think it's gone, it comes back. Over the years, the Paulding Light gained a kind of cult status in the region. Families brought lawn chairs to the gravel lot at the viewing site. People came from as far away as Chicago and Milwaukee just to stare at the dark tree line and wait for the light to appear. And it usually did, every night, just around dusk. Since then, the Paulding Light has become a kind of folk legend. People drive hours, sometimes across states, just to see it. They bring beach blankets, thermoses, camera gear, and a whole lot of curiosity. Now, Michigan's Upper Peninsula is no stranger to strange. There are Bigfoot reports in Barangay County, mysterious lake creatures in the Keweenaw. But the Paulding Light? This one has endurance, became part of local identity. Road signs pointed the way, newspapers called it a mystery. Ghost hunters brought out their gear. It even got a feature on the TV show Unsolved Mysteries in the 1990s. And where there's mystery, you'll find legend. Over time, the stories started to grow. One version says it's the ghost of a railroad brakeman who died trying to stop an oncoming train. His lantern, the tale goes, still swings in the night. Another story claims the light belongs to a murdered mail carrier, eternally wandering the woods. There is a story about it being a stranded alien. Sound familiar? Because, well, it's always aliens, right? Whatever it is, the Paulding Light has become Michigan's most persistent paranormal mystery. And then there's the story of a heartbroken Native American spirit, dancing along the ridgeline, lamenting the land that was taken from his people. The stories differ, but everyone agrees on one thing. The light is there. They've seen it, so of course science had to weigh in. In 2010, engineering students from Michigan Technological University took on the mystery. They set up telescopes and mapped the line of sight from the viewing area. What they found, according to a published report from MTU, was a direct view of US Route 45, a highway about 5 miles away. They tracked lights from cars and trucks coming over a hill, and confirmed that under the right conditions, headlights and tail lights bend and refract through the cold night air, creating what's basically an optical illusion. You're seeing car lights, but they look like they're hovering above the forest. According to the team, it's all explainable. Atmospheric refraction, science. Using a telescope, the students could even read the taillights and headlights of specific vehicles as they moved through that stretch. On certain nights, depending on temperature, humidity, and air density, The lights bend, refract, appear to hover. It's not ghosts, it's optics. At least, that's the conclusion. But here's the thing. People still come. Every night. Even after the headlines saying it was debunked. Even after the students presented their data. Because to a lot of folks, the Paulding Light isn't just about what it is. It's about what it means. But here's the twist. Even after that study, the crowds kept coming. People kept seeing the light, and they kept wanting it to be something more. Some visitors say the highway explanation doesn't match what they've seen. They talk about a light that moves vertically, splits into two, changes colors. Some say they've seen it, even when no cars are on the road. There are even folks who claim they've chased it into the woods, only for it to vanish. So, what do you believe? I went there once. It was in late October, right as the fall colors were fading and the air had that cold edge that says snow's coming soon. I stood at the end of Robbins Pond Road, surrounded by quiet, no cell signal, no city noise, just the smell of pine and the crunch of leaves. And then, the light appeared, just a soft white flicker, far away, floating in place. And for a few seconds, I stopped caring about headlights and telescopes and thermal inversions. Because sometimes, mystery is worth preserving. Because in that moment, up there in the dark, on the edge of the woods, it felt like I was looking at something very old. And very patient. The Paulding Light remains one of Michigan's most enduring legends. Whether it's physics, folklore, or something in between, it continues to draw people to this little corner of the Upper Peninsula. Maybe it's the thrill of the unknown. Maybe it's the hope that not everything can be explained away. Thanks for listening to this episode of End of the Road in Michigan. If you like the story, share it with someone who loves Michigan lore, or leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. To see photos, maps, and more about the Paulding Light, visit thumbwind.com. Until next time, watch the skies, drive the back roads slow, and remember, some lights are meant to be followed.